Welcome back to Adventure World. So in this video we're going to start on the jetpack, but first I wanted to fix the issue that we had here with the dropping the key. So I had a nice fumble with the, let's jump in here to the script. Right here we were trying to figure out how to, instead of setting that here, which would put the key here as a child of this path follow, we wanted to add it up here under this pickups node. Let's change this to item drops target, and then likewise I'll change this to item drop target. And I just, after thinking about it, I thought that name fit a little bit better. Alright, so I was on the right path, I just missed something, and we'll visit that in just a second. So right here we're getting the parent, but instead what I want to do is I want to do get tree dot get nodes in group, and then the group is going to be item drop target, and then finally we need that 0 for the first element. So this will work, and it worked before. The problem was we didn't see it, it just vanished, and I couldn't figure out why. And after thinking about it, I realized right here we're doing get position and set position, but this is the local transformation. So basically I think what was happening is, and this is 0 here, so I think what was happening is our key was jumping off and was probably back here at the origin somewhere, and that's why we didn't see it. It appeared to disappear. So what we really need is the global position, and if you search in here, there's for the node 2D class, you'll see there's a global transform, and let's see. Oh, here we go. Global position, that's what I was looking for. Yeah, so this guy right here. So we're going to use that. So let's jump back to the bat boss, and here we'll say get global position, or set global position, and here we'll say get global position, and that should work, I believe. Let's give it a try real quick. Still have our bat on 2 hit points. We'll need to remember to change that later, but for now, there we go. Now we see that it worked as we expected, but there's an option up here that we can use under the debugger. There's these 2 checkboxes here: sync scene changes and sync script changes. I'm not sure, well, we don't need this one for this, but this is the one that we need. And what this allows you to do is come over here, and we see we've got local. This is our game, like how we're building it. But if you click on remote, this shows what's actually running in our game, so we can see the changes that are made. So if I go down here to enemy path 2D, I notice that underneath that path follow is now empty. The bat's not there and there's no key there. But if I go up here to my background objects and I go into that items drop target, there's my key. That's what I wanted to do, is I wanted to place that key in a specific location that was better for the pickups. This is more organized and gives us some other options. So this is great. This is what we were looking for. I apologize for fumbling around before, but there we go. So there's a correction to that. So next, let's add the jetpack. So this is going to be very straightforward. We've already done this several times. Nothing new here. We may add an FX behind it later, but for now, let's just add the jetpack. So we're going to need a new scene. And where's that origin? There's the origin. We're going to create a, let's see, this is going to be an area 2D. We don't want it to be moving around like falling or anything like that, like the key. So an area 2D will be fine. We'll call this the Jetpack Pickup. Alright, and then we need a sprite so we can see it. And for that, I've went ahead and pulled in another piece of art from Kenny's assets, and items, jetpack. And I noticed it was a little bit big. So let's go ahead and scale that down a little bit. So if you hold down the shift button, it scales it uniformly, meaning it won't let me, like this, that's without the uniformity. Holding down the shift does like that. Unfortunately, it pulls me off from center, so I'm going to just kind of manually recenter it, and then if I go to my transform here, I can just type 0, 0. That'll make sure it's nice and dead on in the center. Let's go ahead and save this scene. Objects, Jetpack Pickup. Good deal. And we also need a collision shape. Collision shape 2D, and it can just be a rectangle is fine. And we'll go ahead and expand that a little bit for that. Alright, so that's most of the Jetpack Pickup. We do need a script on this. I'll just go ahead and go with another built-in. And for this, let's see. This is going to work pretty much just like what our key just did. So if I remember right, what we needed to do is add the signal to this on body entered, and we'll connect that up to my jetpack, and I've got the name correct, so that all looks good. And let's go find our key. It's going to be tough because it's not named, so what we can do is go back to our level, and we can see it there. Oh no, we can't. We can go to objects, and we can just open it. Where did we put it? Key blue. There we go. Yeah, so there we go. We'll just cut that out, take it, and plop it here. Delete that pass. Alright, so if the... oh, I need to tab these over one. So, I'm going over two. There we go. Get your formatting right. Alright, so if the body's in group player, so we want to make sure it's the player touching the jetpack, then we'll say to all players, add the item, and here we're going to say jetpack. Alright, and here we're doing a call to group and then calling this all players. We actually have a reference to the player right here in the form of the body, so we could just say body.addItem and then pass it to jetpack. That would also work. This is maybe a little less performant, but hopefully Godot handles groups by a hash, so it should be pretty efficient. Alright, so let's see. Right, so this is the pickup. Easy peasy. Now what we need to do is go to the player HUD and make sure we adjust him. So let's go back to level 1. We'll find our player in this mess. Then we'll find the HUD. There we go. Inventory. Let's go ahead and, oh, instead of adding this, I can just duplicate. We'll call this jetpack. And for the image, we're going to go to items, jetpack, drag that in, and then we're going to scale it down just a little bit because this one, unlike the key that was too small, this one's too big. So let's go with 0.6. Too small. 0.7. Let's go with 0.8. Yeah, that's good. These are not all uniform. As you can see, my coin is quite a bit bigger. We could adjust, oops, I didn't mean to do that. Could adjust that so we can make this one smaller, 0.8, 0.8. Yeah, there we go. Alright, so now we've got the jetpack in there. Now we have to add that code. So on here, we need to copy this, and we need to copy this, and we need to change this to jetpack, and this to jetpack. Make sure you get the capitalization correct, because this needs to match exactly as you typed it back on the pickup right here, and then this and this need to match exactly what you put right here. Alright, so there we go. That should work. Now let's go back to the level 1 and add our jetpack. So I saved that to objects, and if I scroll down here, there's my jetpack pickup. And it's super tiny. Yeah. Alright, so let's fix that. But first, wasn't paying attention to where I put it, and I probably just put it, yeah, not where it belonged. This would operate really funny. So as my bat moved around, the jetpack would move around. That's not ideal. So let's delete that. And we need to put these in our pickup. So here in the cave, where we've got our other pickups, that's where we'll add it. Alright, so let's fix the tiny issue. Alright, so to do that, we can jump into the scene. Excuse me. And I scaled it down. Apparently that was not the right thing to do. So let's put it back to 1:1 and let's see how that looks. Again, we can adjust our collision shape here. Technically, you would probably just want to keep adjusting the image until you got to the right size, but I think that actually looks pretty good. Let's widen up our thing a little bit. I don't know why, but there we go. And we can reposition that so that it looks like it's sitting there. Awesome. Alright, let's test it out, see if it works, and we should be done with this video. So I'm going to attack this guy, get my key, picked it up, unlock that door, dun, 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 got my jetpack. So now I have the jetpack. So in the next video, we're going to work on adding the jetpack to the player, and we'll probably have to break that up. We'll probably have to break that up into 2 videos, but we'll probably do the functional, adding the jetpack's functionality, I should say, and then we'll further that with some special effects. So I'd like to have some, smoke clouds coming out underneath them, that kind of thing. And oh, and we may need another one for like a jetpack fuel meter. That would be nice. Alright, so we'll have that to look forward to. I hope you enjoyed this, and we'll see you soon. Thanks.